Welcome to Big Time Super Friends, the show that brings you movie and TV show shenanigans. I am your host with the most, Marcus.
Leo.
Toby.
And that's Brian.
And just to give you a fair warning, guys, that this show is a spoiler show. If you guys have not seen the movie Deadpool,
Don't watch us.
click away. Click this on your favorites.
Don't watch
come back
this,
to it.
man. You're going to spoil it for yourself.
We're going to just spoil the shit out of it for you. And
I'm going to ruin it for you.
Yeah. No.
well,
No, man.
I'm going to ruin it for you.
Okay.
it's worth a watch. Before we get started, it is worth a watch. And
Wait a second. The point of this is it's a debate. So you can prove that.
Okay.
All right, you know what?
All right.
You know what? You've been warned. Spoilers are coming up ahead. With that said, I
I'm
want
the
to
fucking
hear
chimichangas.
your first impressions.
Okay. I just saw the movie, right? So maybe about an hour ago, we just came out of the theater. Already going into it, I was already a little negative about it. I just don't really like Deadpool. I don't like the character. I just don't
Hater.
I just don't like Deadpool. Okay, fair enough. You click back a couple episodes, you'll see me rip them apart. But I went into this movie with still an open mind. At least I think it's an open mind. Went in there, saw the movie, came out, and I hate to say it, but my opinion didn't change.
No. That's bullshit.
It didn't change.
Bullshit,
It didn't
dude.
change.
That's tough. That's hard to believe.
The thing is that the thing that I didn't like about Deadpool as a person and the character in the comics is I just don't think the comedy is there. The comedy it's not funny to me. It seems like it makes you dumb a little bit for thinking that kind of stuff is funny.
Damn.
You know? And it's okay, I hate saying that because I like that comedy outside, like, you know, in the real world, you know what I mean? But when I see it on a big screen, it just seems forced to me, and it's almost cringy to me. Like, I'm watching these jokes and they're just so forced, and I'm just like, you know, I couldn't get into it.
I'm going to go on the opposite end. Now, me and Brian were, I would say, if you do click back a few podcasts ago, we were, I would say, the harshest when it comes to
Most
like, the
definitely.
trailers, when it came to the movie news. We just were shitting on this like no one's effing business. I walked in, and to my surprise, I loved it. I thought there was many hilarious points over and over again. Did all the jokes hit? No, not all of them, but most of them did for me. And you know what? I hate to say it. I think I'm a Deadpool fan, not of the comics, but of the cinematic universe. I can't wait for Deadpool 2 to come out. Hands down, it is probably. I think it's going to be one of the best superhero movies to come out this year.
Look, the only reason you go see Deadpool is for the after credits scene. That's all you got to go see, because spoiler alert again.
Actually, that was pretty cool.
It was the actor's credit
Yeah,
scene.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
Spoiler
thought about
alert,
you when
the whole thing is in Deadpool 2, Cable gets confirmed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Cable is my favorite in the Marvel, like, period. That is my character. Like, I love Cable. So that in itself made the whole movie worth watching. And the thing is that it's not that I didn't like the movie, like Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. I think he did a perfect job for Deadpool.
Perfect.
But I agree with that. I think he played that character well. I just don't like that character. You know what I mean? So I'm not taking anything away from him. He did a good job, but I just don't like the character. I can't get past that.
What about you, Toby?
You know, I went into it expecting a whole bunch of horrible shit, you know, to happen in this film.
What kind of horrible shit?
Because, you know, Fox has given us X-Men 1, 2, 3, Wolverine
Right.
Origins.
I agree with you there.
So the only thing that they gave us that was decent was Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, what, a couple years ago. So
Right.
I went into it with my hopes very low.
You didn't like First Class?
I didn't like First Class.
Really?
I didn't like First Class. But Days of Future Past, I did. So when I went into this movie, I actually enjoyed it. A lot of the humor was something that I already expected from Marvel. It was like, I kind of feel like the main Marvel Studios that's owned by Disney is kind of like giving their confirmation to be like, okay, you could use some of our humor and like our themes. Like a bunch of those songs were like something that could have been maybe in Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. I hate bringing up Guardians of the Galaxy because I feel like it's a template now, because you see that same template being used for Deadpool and on the other side of the spectrum, which is Suicide Squad.
When it comes to music?
Yeah, when it comes to music and like that type of humor.
Yeah.
So, you know,
the potty humor, pretty much.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly, and
Yeah.
a lot of the jokes were funny. I felt like they could have been better. I felt like it was like a dumbed down version of Seth MacFarlane's type of humor. But not as funny.
Boners and farts.
Yeah, you know what I mean? At least I could laugh at.
But you know what? Those boners and farts jokes, I was sitting right next to him.
And
He
I was laughing.
fucking
I was
I
laughing.
was sitting on the other side of him.
Everyone at my screening was laughing.
Yeah.
I left the
It
movie
was
laughing.
like-
Everyone that in the theater that I went to, I could hear people laughing in the parking lot, and I know that they were laughing about that movie because that movie was freaking fun.
Yeah.
So-
And they threw everything at me, and I expected it all. I wasn't surprised by anything in that movie.
You know
be
what?
honest.
You know what?
That's a bad thing, though.
You know what surprised me the most though is I dug the fight choreography.
Yeah, it was good.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And there was this one moment where Deadpool like slices this guy's head off and then does a spinning roundhouse kick, kicks the head, and then hits
Oh,
another
yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And I was like,
Knocks him
holy
out.
Yeah, it knocks him out.
Yeah, it's cool.
Colossus.
He was great.
He's a great.
It's the best one that they've ever had, and he had a lot of screen time.
They did play him up a little bit of too much of a goody two shoes for me, but it
Yeah.
still worked. It
I
still
was okay with
worked.
that.
What was his sidekick? Super Mega Warhead or something?
Negasonic
Negasonic
Teenage Warhead.
Teenage Warhead.
Negasonic Warhead.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Teenage Warhead. Yeah.
What the shit? That name-
NTW.
that name's-
She was cool.
Yeah, she was cool.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is like you know what her powers were, but she used them the same
used
way the like 4 times that she was on screen. Like she just did that.
But sort of differently, because the
Right.
first time she like used it as a
punch.
Like a charge.
punching
As a charge
like,
kind of
ram,
thing,
as a
yeah.
charge. She could move objects with
She
it.
moved
with
yeah.
the van.
She
And then
herself could project
project herself up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it looked
And
like
she used
That
it
was
to launch
creative.
him up.
That was creativity right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff
is
that I
good bec-
expect to see out of a student coming out of Xavier School. Nonetheless, you know what I mean? Because you're supposed to learn your
kind of
powers
like-
there.
She did
Kind
look
of like
it was a very
and she was-
minimalistic approach to her.
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
fine
And,
with.
and it was. I felt like she was used good as a utility character.
Yeah, which she was.
Yeah.
Clearly she was.
Yeah.
It was stated from the beginning.
It was good. It was good.
What did you guys think of the credits? The in the beginning where it was just like
starring some
unconventional,
asshole.
Yeah.
and
Perfect.
like a
Directed by
hottie,
some
hottie
rich
teenager.
fuck.
You know,
and like a-
that
some CGI
kind of
character.
reminded me of something Tarantino would have done.
Right.
You know what I mean? I felt like that. I really felt like that. You know what I mean? Just
He
like
doesn't,
show
though.
like
He's never done that.
no.
His
he
are very
hasn't.
formal.
Yeah.
This is the
directed
first
by
time-
some overpriced ass
Yeah.
cat or something.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, I've never seen that. Is there a movie? you
never.
guys
I've
remember
never seen that. And it was pretty cool because the opening credit scenes was the opening action scene, just in stop motion
Right.
kind of
Yeah, it was.
look to it. And I saw the Hello Kitty
the bag.
little chapstick
Oh, yeah,
in the
yeah.
opening
Yeah.
credits. I think we saw him as like Green Lantern.
Someone's wallet.
his
in
wallet.
someone's wallet.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
just like, he clearly is poking fun of
The
himself.
old Deadpool figure with the mouth.
Oh, yeah,
figurine with
dude.
the blades.
I
And
was
he's
just
like,
like,
"This is
the
my
worst decision
favorite."
we've ever done. Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
something.
he's like, this is my favorite, my prized possession, and he flips the magazine. It's a
Yeah.
magazine of Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
and the mask of Hugh Jackman when he
Yeah,
takes off his
yeah.
mask. That was freaking. That was.
And
good.
he's like
was good,
that
man.
one part. He took a lot of jabs at Hugh Jack. Well, I wouldn't call them jabs. They were kind of like friendly banter. It was like
Yeah.
they were
They're
just
friends.
jokes.
You know,
Just
they're
making
jokes.
fun of the fact that he's a
Just-
dreamy guy.
Just,
dude. And
just
he's a hunk and all this crap, and
like
he's-
the real Deadpool does in the comics. You
Oh,
know
sure.
what I mean? Because he's like that with Wolverine as
It
well.
rhymes
So
with Pulverine.
Yeah, and it rhymes with Wolverine. I'm like,
you know, it's kind of sad though because Wolverine's. I mean, Hugh Jackman is leaving the
Right.
universe
After the
as
next one.
yeah.
It's kind of a roast to him, if you will.
yeah.
I liked it.
but I felt like they would have meshed well together, both of
Oh,
their characters.
Yeah,
you
on
know
the
what I
screen
mean?
together. Yeah.
well, X-Men Origins, bro.
Yeah, I know.
X-Men Origins.
No,
I
that
mean,
wasn't
they
really
already-
Deadpool.
They had their movie together.
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
but you know what? That movie, X-Men Origins, as much as I shit on it, and a lot of people shit on it, the beginning opening credit.
Oh, it's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And Deadpool, Wade Wilson, before the
Yeah.
the
Mutation.
experiment
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
actually pretty good. What'd you think of the love romance that
I
he
actually
had?
thought it was good.
Yeah,
it was.
It didn't feel
It wasn't
forced.
too much.
It didn't
And you know
feel
what it
forced
was?
to me.
I think it was that they kept it brief.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
It was very brief,
There you
and
go.
they kind of made fun of the like the love stuff, like when they were having
archetype.
the sex scene, like
Yeah.
he was taking it from the bag.
Yeah.
It's like,
No.
ass and-
No.
yeah.
This is National Women's Day or whatever it's called.
The
Happy Strawberry Day or
the
whatever.
funniest part in that was when he was going down on her and he had the Dracula teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Halloween. Goodness. They're getting out of control.
Yeah.
But I dug it.
Yeah.
And it didn't make things very slow because they kept cutting from like his past to future, past
Right.
or past and
kind
present,
of
past
slowly
and present.
catching you up.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is great.
And
I think it took too long.
What?
So to explain, I'm seeing the same scene the first
Okay,
half of the movie.
That was a Tarantino thing. They were showing you pretty much the end scene as it was unfolding slowly, and then progressing you to the end by giving you flashbacks and giving you the backstory.
the first 30 minutes of the movie was the same scene. You know what I mean? It's a slow motion stop. Okay, and now you're a little bit more caught up. So let's go back and check. I'm like, come on, man, speed it up a little bit, please,
But
please.
They did a good job.
I think they
between
did a good
going
pace,
Back
yeah.
and forth, back and forth.
And think about this: when he was coming for her, get over this. Oh, she's gonna think I'm hideous. I don't want to go see her. No, shut the fuck up and just go get. That's why she got caught in the first place, because he wasn't man enough to do it in the strip club.
But I feel I feel like that's a little like hate though, because we have to kind of put ourselves in that perspective. Like if we were butt ass ugly, and
If you woke
we
up
were with
looking
a
like
girl-
Freddy Krueger,
Think about this. But you have to think about if you had a relationship like what theirs was portrayed at. Do you think that would have been an issue to begin with? No.
who knows?
Yeah,
but
Probably
there's
not.
still
Probably not.
There is a
No.
lot of self doubt though, when we can't really like
With the
make an
character
assumption
that-
on
with the-
doubt
with-
because doubt does things to different people.
With the character that Deadpool is,
I think it was more
and
than that, man.
even when he was nearing death, getting tortured, he stayed in his witty character. But going back to his girl, like changes him like that. And now he's like,
No, he wasn't witty. He lost the wit once, like he had been into
Well-
the oxygen chamber for the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
It was
He
gone.
went dead silent. He,
Yeah,
he
he
got
was
very
quiet.
serious
Yeah.
for that split second. I think that was
I
the only
just-
time that he
and-
was
and,
very
like,
quiet.
All the people leading up to him trying to go see his girlfriend like made him doubt himself. You know what I mean? Because like he didn't
Also,
really doubt
don't
himself at
forget that
first
there was a
until people started like you know what I
Yeah, he
mean?
did.
Like
There
there
was
was
when he was walking up on the
look,
street.
but it was
Yeah.
a while before they had last seen each other too. So there was the time period between the last
Yeah,
time they'd seen
Sure.
each other.
It was
Again-
like at least a year.
well,
Again-
maybe
gone
more.
by.
Again,
It
I
could've
would
been
say
more.
the reason I didn't care about that was, I don't know.
But you
Because
weren't supposed
because
to care about it. It
real-
just was propelling the story.
I know, but what I'm saying is the way it was portrayed made it seem like their relationship was stronger than that. So there should have been no need for that.
I can see that. I
You know what I
can see
mean?
that point.
I think that's just an excuse, man.
Yeah, you're a hater
You're
rate.
just hating on the movie.
Shut up! You just agreed with me. Now he switches. This guy's a hood rat. He jumps.
All right, I can see where maybe somebody might be a little bit annoyed by the love story. I mean, I didn't necessarily expect one
And it's
myself.
not okay. And I'm
but-
not saying that the love story was bad. It was good, but just the stuff afterwards that led back to wanting to get them back together. It was like I can't believe that after what you just showed me, like how their relationship actually was. I just couldn't believe it.
Okay.
Like I said, I think it's more than just his hideous face. I think it was the hideous face, maybe self-doubt, and then the time that lapsed. since they
Any
last
jokes
seen
that
each
you did were like that made you laugh or that really like stood out in your mind?
There were probably 2 or 3. One is you already named it with the teeth, and he said "Happy Halloween" and shit. That shit was funny.
The little hand, bro. The
That
little
was my
hand.
favorite. That was my
Little
favorite.
hand, dude.
Well, okay, those are the last 2 because it's technically the same scene, but like when you first see the hand and it goes on the chin, he's like, oh, your hand seemed pretty small. Like, okay, that's what I. And then the part after that, right after, was when he's saying he's gonna go jerk off. He's like, I bet it feels huge in this hand.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. You know what I mean? So, but. That was the only part where I was like, I laughed.
I thought for sure you were gonna laugh at that one part where he's gathering up all the guns. Boom, boom. He's loading up. He brings his bag along, and then right before he leaves, he turns to his blind roommate. What's her name? Alan? Alla? Or it starts with an A. I forget her character's
know.
name, but he turns to her. She's blind, and says, just so you know, I love you, and there's 5 keys of cocaine and and the
next
the,
to the cure for your blindness.
yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, shit. and the playoff between him and T.J. Miller.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
back and
I
forth.
like
That's-
his character.
His character was awesome.
His humor, if the movie was that, I maybe would have enjoyed it a little bit more.
Again, I think it's just excuses, man.
Yeah.
You,
I
hate,
know,
you just hate Deadpool, and you hate the movie, and that's okay.
But everything
That's all right.
I've just been saying has been to the contrary of that. Is
It's just-
I
you
put
know
that
what, though?
aside, but
It's a shame because I think you're missing the point of the movie. Okay,
no, I got the point of the movie.
They got this money to make this movie kind of for free, almost.
Essentially, like $58 million was
Yeah.
the budget,
Yeah.
which is like almost unheard of when it comes to superhero movies.
When
Like
have
Batman
you
and
seen-
Superman is $250 million budget.
How much was Deadpool?
58
Yeah,
million.
58 million. Look, and then they poke jabs at the studio. I mean, with like, oh, it's because the studio.
But, yeah, they
only
couldn't afford-
these They couldn't afford like.
Yeah.
starting
But
it's
famous
true.
experts.
Yeah.
It's very true. And at the end, where he's talking about Cable being
Yeah.
in the movie, the sequel, and
And it's one of those things that for $58 million, dude, they really did it right. For being $58 million.
Yeah.
I mean, think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The effects weren't, I mean, there were some spots where I was like, I could have been better, but
I was
It's
okay with it.
50
I think that's
million.
why they use a lot of the stop motion and the
and
like
that's okay,
special effects
man.
like that. I get that. Oh, I thought of another joke that I thought was funny.
which one?
When he's first getting put on the experiment table and the thing, and he goes, they start talking about Xavier, and
I
he
must have
says
missed that.
he says, "Are you talking McAvoy or Stewart?"
Oh, yeah.
I get that reminds me
I
of
know.
stuff.
I know.
Talked about both of them.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were so many jokes that
There
he
was
was
a lot.
throwing that, I mean, I didn't.
I
The
laughed
volume
out
was a
loud
lot. Yeah.
in front of a joke, so I missed one. I know I missed one for sure.
yeah, and this is like, tonight was my second time seeing it, and
You still
I
missed
still
things.
missed it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he really,
It's
Ryan
quick.
Reynolds does like one after the other, rapid fire.
And it seems ad-libbed.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it was like
Yeah.
scripted.
Oh, yeah.
It's that
Yeah,
quick
exactly.
and witty, which I enjoyed that.
Mhm.
What do you think of the end credits scene?
That was
I love the nod to
Oh,
Ferris
the Ferris
Bueller.
Bueller.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think it's called.
Yeah. I
with,
loved it.
Oh, okay.
The end credit scene where he comes out in his robe.
Yes. Okay.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Get out
Get
of
out of
here.
here.
That the end credit scene was my favorite part. It was because they said Cable's going to be in the movie. I'm like, yes.
I think that's the perfect opportunity, though, because I don't want him to join the X-Men. I think
Right.
it's a perfect opportunity for them to start and form the X-Force.
X-Force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
X-Force,
X-Factor.
Cable, Domino, Deadpool. I mean,
Domino could be cool
It's-
on screen. That'd be
it-
cool.
that's
Really
like
cool.
the
Yeah.
gateway. And
Yeah.
what better way to introduce the X-Force in Cable than, Cable's arch nemesis is Apocalypse,
Yeah.
and that's who they're introducing next.
Right.
Mhm.
I would love to see a futuristic battle between Cable and Apocalypse.
It would be nice for
That'd be
cameos
cool.
to start cross.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
And Deadpool will still be alive
Contamination.
around that time because he's essentially immortal, just like almost like Wolverine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
His regeneration is a little bit better than Wolverine, but still, it's like it works. And if they do an X-Force, it's a perfect opportunity to maybe introduce a brand new Wolverine,
Exactly.
a new
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know?
Or at the very least an X-23.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
A female version of like Wolverine. Like really? Like
To be honest, with the casting of Psylocke, I would have thought that she would have maybe been a better X-23.
oh, I like that idea though.
Right?
I like that idea. Yeah, Olivia Munn. She could have played a badass X-23.
Yeah.
All right, so now we've gone over all the positives on our end, and I mean you've shared all your negatives, but
I shared my
do
positives
you guys
too.
have any negatives like other than Brian,
I really didn't.
other than Haterade?
I mean, I know it wasn't the best movie, but I enjoyed it the most.
You said you thought it was the funniest movie.
I thought it was the funniest, yeah, for sure. Out of all the
I think
Marvel
Ant-Man
movies.
was funnier.
Yeah, I felt
No,
that. I felt that way
I think
too.
there was a
Ant-Man
lot of
was
pauses.
Ant-Man was funnier for me. For me,
That's what he told me in the theater as soon as we
like
got
I
out.
had more. I
Wait, you
enjoyed
didn't
it
have a problem
more.
with the Mexican clown.
Nah. Nah.
Nah. I loved it.
No, he was great.
Yeah, he was
If I-
fucking
Michael
fantastic.
Peña.
Yeah, I know.
If
Michael
I could,
Payaso.
if I could nitpick on just any little small thing, is that the first time viewing it, I didn't notice it, but the second time I viewed it, the middle love romance interest was a little slow. Just a
Where
tad.
they're discussing like what he's gonna do next.
Are you talking about like when they encountered cancer or something?
Yeah.
No, that was fine. It was just the.
Is it when he's got the sweater and he's bare assed? That whole scene.
I enjoyed that scene. See, I felt like it was slow, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy that scene, right?
And I think that scene kind of capitalizes all the other love scenes. It was kind of sappy, but he was butt ass naked, and then he was butt ass naked, and then
Say it one more time.
Butt ass
He was
naked.
butt ass naked.
yeah, he was butt ass naked, and you know.
Where do you think he held that ring?
They insinuated he kept it, in his ass. Ring pop,
He has
bro.
a space, bro. National Women's Day. National Women's Day. He has a space.
Right. But that's what I mean. Like, there were so many jokes that were like explained later.
Yeah.
You know, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
You know,
sure.
Some of the things that I didn't really enjoy about it were I felt like they underutilized Colossus during the beginning when they started showing him.
Okay.
Like he was getting tossed around, and you know what I mean. He's just
But
like,
I think he underestimated it too.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't 100. Like if it was Juggernaut, I don't think he would have been tossed around as easy.
yeah, exactly.
He would have gone 100%.
That was kind of I
would've
guess
been 100.
sexist if you want to look at it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't like
Maybe
the
he was a
main
little-
villain either. I didn't care for him. Like I
Me
felt
neither.
like
Ajax.
he was
Me
like,
neither.
you know, I could replace
I-
him with another lackey. You know what I mean?
dug the main villain though.
I thought he was
because
okay.
He was pretty good. I mean, what were his powers? He was a little stronger than normal human beings.
Enhanced
He was
strength
like
and
Captain
healing.
America,
Yeah.
sort of.
No, he wasn't enhanced healing. He was enhanced senses, and he didn't feel pain.
Right. He was
Oh,
not.
he didn't
That's
feel
what it
pain.
was,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Which is why he was all smiling every single time he would get stabbed or
Right.
something. Like he
But
didn't
if
mind
that's
it.
the case, though, I think he had to have some kind of healing because the way that they were hitting each other and going at it, you would have thought he would have broke bones and shit like that. Just because you can't feel it doesn't mean you don't have a fucking limp arm like hanging
well,
off.
he did.
You know?
At the end, he ended up breaking both arms. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
Did he?
Yeah, like when he was on top of him, smashing him, and then he broke one arm, and then he went to the other arm,
Oh,
broke that
right,
arm,
he
and then he
did
shot
break
him in the fucking
Yeah,
head.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's another thing that, like, the end credits, like, not the end credits, the end scene where, you know, he has a gun to that Ajax's head, and Colossus is like, no, don't do it, you know, you better, essentially, you're better than
could
this.
be
Giving this like
you
long ass
know?
speech, and he just
Yeah.
goes,
Yeah.
Boom, boom. I was just like,
He goes
oh.
up.
and he
I was,
starts-
oh, yeah, dude. So,
but tell me,
He's a gentle
tell
giant,
me
bro.
with that whole scene, Colossus building up. Tell me you didn't expect that.
oh, I did. I saw. I mean, it would be a bummer if he didn't shoot him, because
Right.
that's not Deadpool,
Right. Okay.
essentially,
Yeah.
you know. But I did see it coming. But I can't think of something
I
that
think it
really
was a
stood
setup
out
for
in my
Colossus
mind,
to
dude.
throw up more than anything.
For sure.
You know, like there's even like smaller things that we didn't really like noticed in the movie when we were watching it, like the whole jabs at Negasonic, like referring to her as
Sinead O'Connor.
yeah, Sinead O'Connor. Like,
Nothing
man, I
compares
haven't heard
to
that
you.
name for a while.
Aliens
Yeah,
flying.
Like, that was beautiful. Like,
His Adventure Time watch.
yeah.
Oh man, there was tons and tons
Or,
of stuff.
or even when Deadpool was like trying to hit Colossus and he was like breaking all
Oh,
his
yeah, dude,
joints
he just
and
kept
stuff.
breaking his arms, his
yeah.
foot, and I'm just like, oh man.
Right.
And what I didn't expect is him cutting off his
Oh,
own
yeah.
arm
Yeah.
and then to get free.
Yeah,
And then
that,
he left
that was
it-
unexpected. Actually,
Yeah, he left it with
Yeah.
flipping him off, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not like you haterade?
He's like offended now. Oh, but
can you
I'm
not-
seeing stuff. How can you not like that?
All right, on that note, scale of 1 through 10, starting with Toby.
I told you this at the theater. I enjoyed Ant-Man I wouldn't say way more, but I gave Ant-Man 8.5 coming out of seeing it, and I would give Deadpool 8.2 because I did enjoy myself when I was there.
An 8.2.
Yeah, 8.2.
Give it
Bro,
8.3.
stick
Come
to
on.
half numbers, man.
Give it 8.3. Come on.
That's
Bump it up.
8.2,
I'm
bro.
going to 8.2 and 3/4.
Closer to 8.5, bro.
Hey, you gotta change it up, bro. We could do math here, right?
I'm gonna. The first time I saw it, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
What?
Yeah, dude, straight out 9.5 out of 10. The second time I saw it, I'm gonna stick and stay firm at a 9 out of 10.
That's pretty fair. I'd say an 8, man. Like
An
a solid 8, yeah. A
8
solid
out of 10.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
I mean,
fair.
I did give The Revenant a 10 out of 10, so
Well,
I'm stuck there. That's the peak.
I think I gave that
It's on
an 8
video.
seven
But-
out of
but-
10.
but- Yeah,
But this
it's
is
a
also
peak.
considering the rating that I gave Days of Future Past was at the time at 7.5. Still is 7.5,
Really?
but Deadpool 8.2. That's fair.
8.2?
Yeah.
8.2. You got
It's
an
the
8?
best.
I'll
It's
give
the
it like a 9, man. I mean, I'm stuck between an 8 and 9, so it's like
So an 8.5?
8.5, bro. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place.
8.5,
I'm between that, whatever that
Like, if
is.
there could be something between the
That's
8 and
where I'm
9, that's where I'd be. Right there. Just somewhere in there.
I just
Like,
I
right in
didn't
the
want to
middle.
say 8.5. It's just like I didn't
You want to say an
give it
8.2?
I just want to say an 8 or a 9.
Hey, it's better than being stuck between 0 and 1, right?
I
A
would
hater
say
over
that.
there.
I would give it.
a 0.5.
Let me. Okay.
And
let me think about this real
3/4.
quick. Let me think about it. I have to compare it to some of the worst movies I've ever seen.
No.
So
Worst
Why?
movies?
I have
on,
to.
man.
So I have a scale. Is what I'm saying. A reference.
You hated it that much.
No. I'd give it a 4.5.
Bullshit.
Maybe. I'd give it a 4.5.
Did you see that reaction, folks? Did you see that? Yeah, take it back.
It looks like they reduced his oxygen.
I know.
No
I'd
way.
give it
That's too
I'd
low.
give it a 5.
No,
I'd
dude,
give it
at
a
least a
Holy
7,
shit.
dude.
This is my rating. Give it at least a
Hey,
five.
bro.
He's like, if you can go somewhere between my score and your score, it'd be perfect, right in the middle there.
But
I'd give it
really
a
a
5. I'd give it a 5.
You know, I think I noticed a trend here. Whenever Marcus like even remotely likes something, you go and hate it. Like it was Sicario, because Marcus really likes Sicario.
Hate-
So did we.
I don't hate Sicario.
What did you rate Sicario?
I give that one a 7.
Sicario.
I give that
7.
a 7.
Bro, Deadpool is like way bloodier and it's funnier.
And it
What
doesn't
else do you
have,
need?
and it
He's like,
doesn't
I'm
have.
sticking with my 5.
It's a 5. It's a 5.
Because
you
fuck
try to-
Deadpool.
He just
That's what
hated
it
that.
is.
If you
Yeah,
try to
man.
convince me it's a 4.5.
I said 4.5 to start.
I'm gonna keep dropping fives.
I said 4.5 to start.
Fine,
You
that's
made
not
me
shit.
bump it up to a 5, bro.
That's
I
fine,
yeah, we
dude.
can make
Alright,
you do
alright,
anything,
alright.
bro.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take a
Sticking
5.
firm. 5.
All right.
That-
That note, guys, enjoy the movie while it's
Or
still in
don't.
theaters.
Or don't.
Oh, you will.
Yeah, you will.
You will.
too.
And you
Let me
will.
know what you rate.
I
Let me
think
know
so
what you rate
too.
this.
Yeah,
you won't give it a
comment,
5 out of
comments.
10.
Let us know how you feel.
Pay close attention.
Close
You
attention.
might miss something.
Zingers.
Oh, yeah.
Later. Hey, please like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe.
And subscribe.
I don't know why I keep saying that. Subscribe.
Because you try to say it too quick, bro.
Subscribe.
You gotta enunciate, man. You enunciate.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
You're trying too hard, bro.
All right. Later, guys.
Toodles, my noodles.
Peace.
Bye.